2024 was an unforgettable year full of challenges and triumphs. We've grown in ways we never imagined, and today we're sharing our biggest wins, the lessons we've learned, plus a sneak peek of our plans for 2025.
We're about to take on something new as we continue to chase our dreams. And today, I've convinced Sydnee to share her secrets on how to make the best Pico. So let's dive in.
I know our biggest win for the year by far. Can you guess it?
It's you guys!
100%. We released our first video on February 29th, Leap Day, so our anniversary will be March 1st this year coming up. We've grown by 1,200 subscribers and we could not be more grateful.
For each of you that watch every week and leave your comments and those likes, it means so much to us and helps our channel grow and helps us continue to bring these videos to you.
Yes, which is absolutely something we want to continuing to do. Bringing you a weekly video is a big task, but we genuinely enjoy doing it. And so if you're not subscribed already, please, please, please hit that subscribe button. And we'd also love to know what type of content do you guys want to see for this upcoming year? Because one of the things we're going to talk about today is we plan to make a few changes to what we're doing.
As you know, I love to eat, and there's only a few things I won't eat, and one is a raw tomato. And so I've never eaten Pico, don't like Pico, but Sydnee's gonna share some secrets of what makes her Pico so great, and I eat the raw tomatoes in the Pico.
We're gonna do our onions diced very, very thinly and finely, and then we're gonna soak them in the lime juice so that the lime juice actually cooks the onions and they don't stay raw. What was your RV life biggest win of the year? What do you think it was?
I think really the biggest win was learning to tow confidently and set up and tear down and travel days. You know, I mean, we made big changes from that first travel day to the last travel trip with that 7 months that we were on the road and gaining that confidence.
Yeah, look back to how scared we were and how like the idea of towing was almost what kept us from taking the leap of faith to jump into this lifestyle. And now I look at how much I get excited and love to tow to go somewhere new. So if you are not living the RV life and you think, oh, I don't know how to tow, so therefore I never could, if you have a desire to learn anything, you can do it.
And just like anything, it's scary before you do it for the first time because of the unknown, and you just got to get over that hurdle, and I'm so glad we did.
Yeah. RV life came with a lot of opportunities in the corporate world, you might call them, or challenges, regular people might say. And Mandy and I have always worked together. We've been together 13 years. We've lived together 13 years.
Yeah.
And we have worked together the majority of that time. And like take our breaks together, go to lunch together, work together, come home together, all of that. But RV life amps it up. And I thought we were pretty amped.
Yeah. The challenge of putting that all into a small space brought on new challenges.
Apparently we're making guac too. Yeah, okay, so the truth about living with your partner, even if your partner is your best friend, in less than 300 square feet is that you have to take your communication to another level, no matter how good your communication may have been before. Because when you have those moments where you're on each other's nerves or arguing or just need some personal space, there is none.
Yeah, and having alone time and personal space, like no matter how close you are or living in the small space with your best friend, it's still needed. And so communicating how that happens and being able to express when it's needed.
Yeah. If you're having a disagreement or arguing, like there is no walking away and just letting it fizzle out. It's making an intention to work through that, and I am incredibly proud of everything we got through. I mean, let's be real, those first 3 to 6 months were intense.
And we took on a lot between launching the YouTube, launching the fitness business, learning to RV, adjusting to the small space, having travel days. It was kind of crazy.
It was insane. But that does bring us to one of our next biggest wins, your biggest win, which is what?
Launching the LesbiFit app. And so launched it this summer and have exciting things coming for 2025. But getting back to, the online virtual coaching and making the videos for the on-demand app.
And without sounding like a total commercial or a broken record, I can say as a wife who sat right next to her as she worked hard, she cried it out, she laughed it out, she worked it out. Like, this is a talented and special...
Those onions.
Yeah, it's the onions. But seriously, this is a talented and special woman, and she has just been put here on this earth to hold the hands of people who maybe are intimidated or insecure or feeling lost or whatever it is, to help people take that first step that they need into really changing their lives. And I am so proud of you. And if you're interested in somebody helping you jumpstart your fitness journey, do not be intimidated. I know she looks tough, but look at her, she's crying. She's a softie at heart, and she is one of the most supportive people that you could ever have in your corner. And so consider checking out the LesbiFit app. We absolutely will link it in the description below.
And with going into the year, taking on the new challenges of, for myself, my daily activity and workouts, being in the small space in a different spot a couple times a month, definitely brought on new challenges, and being able to overcome those and learn how to work through those to help you guys with that as well.
Yeah, and that actually brings me to one of my biggest wins for the year. So we always take our health seriously. We met in the fitness industry. We've always lived a very active lifestyle. But remember when we were whitewater kayaking on the Yellowstone River and I had that panic attack and struggled to get up on the kayak? That was a moment for me. I lost sleep over that moment. And I really realized that I needed to amp up my level of physical fitness, that I needed to take strength training more seriously. The fact that I'm just out there living a more active lifestyle is not going to get me to where I want to be, which is living an active lifestyle in the longevity of life. And that's really what it's all about for me. And I kind of had that moment and just something snapped. Like, you get to live your dream life. It needs to include strength training and all those other things. And I think, amped it up. And I look forward in 2025. We are going to be taking on some really tough physical challenges in amazing, epic places that I truly cannot wait to share with all of you. I'm about to start cutting up these tomatoes, and if you have somebody in your life who says they don't like raw tomatoes, what they're really telling you is that they find the seeds to be too mucousy.
This is the only tomatoes I'll ever eat, or ever eaten, is when she makes Pico.
Which, speaking of making a delicious dish like Pico, what's one of our other big goals for 2025?
Is to focus on continuing to eat more plant-based, and we try to eat as many fresh foods as we can, and we've already shared the challenges, throughout the year with the travel, that sometimes it just wasn't available. But man, being here in Texas and having HEB Plus has been awesome, and with the fresh produce. So that obviously makes it easier when you have access to it. So what are our biggest goals for the channel for 2025?
In 2024, our goal was to get our channel monetized. And for those of you who don't know, that requires 1,000 subscribers and 4,000 hours of watched video. And we were able to achieve that goal, which was incredibly exciting. Just because you monetize doesn't mean you actually produce an income, for those of you who are curious. We make anywhere from $5 to $15 per 1,000 views on each of our videos. And if you go back and you look through our videos, and we're being honest with ourselves, we are not getting near enough views for this to become an income. And so our goal is to continue to work on that. But in the meantime, the biggest news for 2025 is what?
So for summer of 2025, we have been applying and looking for camp host positions. And a lot of you might know what that is, but the camp host position, a lot of campgrounds run off of camp hosts, so they hire couples or singles that live on site, and those are the ones working the front desk, taking reservations, working in the store, escorting you to your site, keeping up with the outdoors, the lawn care. And we actually met some great friends, Brian and Chris, that were camp hosts when we were back in Utah last year. And it's always been something kind of on our radar, something that we could do, if we needed to do. And the financial reason is one of the things that have led us to that.
Yeah, it was, like she said, it was always on our radar. And so we are excited. It's been something that we've been talking about since before we even started this journey.
Those of you that are watching that also are RVing or out on the road, when we take on a camp host position, this will be the first time that we let you guys know where we're going to be. We'll be there for the summer, and we would love and hope that some of you guys will come visit, and then we'll get to meet you guys.
Absolutely. And that kind of brings me to one of the, I would say, what was probably the biggest challenge of 2024, which was what?
Loneliness and lack of community on the road. When we were moving so fast, every 14 days throughout the summer, it was just challenging. We met some great people, and then one of us left the next day. So it was challenging to build that community and friendships.
She's exactly right. Moving too fast because we were excited and we could was kind of a rookie move, if I'm being totally honest about it. And we have made some unbelievable connections with some of you guys, but you guys still have your anonymity. You guys are still unknown to us, right? We haven't seen your faces. And we just want to put ourselves somewhere still where friends, family, and anybody who is excited to meet us, I promise you we would be way more excited to meet you. And it's kind of a two birds in one stone. This RV lifestyle is 100% a long haul for us. And while I can't guarantee that YouTube will be a long haul for us, despite I hope that it will, I know that I love this lifestyle more than I loved our life back in Cleveland. And so we're just figuring out ways to make that work and sharing that with you guys. So if you guys own a campground or know somebody who does or have heard anything, we are all ears, and we cannot wait to share with you where we are. We do know it'll be in the western half of the country, for sure.
Yes.
Okay, so the tomatoes, onions, and limes are in there and chopped. The last thing we're going to add to our pico, we don't add anything spicy to it, just for gut health again, is we're going to add some cilantro.
Are you going to need a taste tester?
Always.
That's my favorite job in the kitchen.
A little salt.
All these are chips are delicate.
Yeah. Again, made fresh. That's always going to be her reaction. Does it need more salt?
It's great.
I nailed it, if I must say so myself. Okay, as much as I could slam this down right now, letting it sit for 30 to 60 minutes will actually make it taste better. So, since our onions are ready, let's go ahead and make our guacamole. Question for you guys, especially those of you who watch each week, we're so grateful. What were your favorite episodes, and what are the episodes where you're like, guys, don't make that one again? We genuinely would love to know.
Yeah, and those of you that take the time to comment each week and comment on the videos, that means so much to us. And the feedback helps us create those videos for you and bring the content that you enjoy and you're looking for. Well, look at this festive meal.
Oh yeah, it's very Christmassy.
Red and green.
We are on the Mexican border. One of the things we always like to do at the end of every year is high-low. What was the highest point of the year? And what was the... Okay, we learned let's move on part of the year. And this is kind of on the spot, but high-low.
I'd say the high was exploring so many awesome places that we got to explore and
making... You have a favorite?
Man. Colorado.
Yeah, I knew you were going to say that.
Barely got a hike there, but man, Colorado just... I would love to spend more time. That's, one of our hot spots for the potential of the summer camp hosting, but Colorado, but going to Yellowstone and the wildlife and spending so much time up there. I mean, that was just, we got to do so many things this year because of this lifestyle. So,
for me, I think, you know how like couple dating, like double dating, like finding as a couple another couple where just everybody clicks. Like there's good one-on-ones, there's good group dynamic, like you just kind of feel like in sync. And for us, it's always like just finding another couple who's like really in love and respects each other, but then also, okay, we want to go do things that are fun and active, and that can be so hard to find. And I can think of 4 amazing couples we met this year that we would have never met in a different lifestyle. It just was such a privilege to meet not only those 8 amazing individuals, but all of the wonderful, warm, amazing people that we got to meet all of this year. And I would say the low was honestly, it was like every time we felt like we belonged and had community and people we wanted to share experiences with, we were on to the next.
Yeah, so that was, I was going to say the same thing for the low. It was just the challenge of, you know, those lonely times in between that. So, and that's where, you know, led us to knowing we wanted to stay somewhere. We're here in Texas for 4 months and at a place.
These tomatoes are sugar sweet.
They're good. Being at a place where not only are we long term, but this is where people come for the winter or long term. And being able to have the community here, and we've met some great people here, and there's a gym, and I've been training people here in the gym, and like truly has been a great opportunity for us to meet people and have community.
Okay, your favorite spot. I know mine, and it's gonna surprise you.
So we've done this several times throughout, and it's all like favorite spot in regards to what? I don't know. Strawberry Bay was my favorite. If I picked campsite,
okay,
Strawberry Bay, where we had just so much grass yard between us and the lake or reservoir, the water view, the seclusion, and even though, I mean, that was one of our first true boondocking, but that was one of my favorite spots.
Okay, if you're just saying campsite, because that's not what I was saying, meaning, but if you're just saying campsite, it's actually for me, Kurt Gowdy State Park. We didn't share that with you other than in a short, and that was when we were on a kick of trying to produce a short every day to help grow our channel, and it was too much to film a short every day and in that 1 week that we were there film a long form video, and so we didn't share that with you in the form of a long form video, but I'll show you some epic shots. You could walk out your door and there was hiking trails every direction you looked. We were on concrete. We learned how important that is. And so that to me would be my favorite actual site. But what about like place or town you visited? What was your favorite?
I mean, Moab was the top
you
one.
said Colorado.
Yeah.
Moab was good.
Yeah, the hike we did in Colorado, because we were able to get out and do a challenge. I mean, that was one of our butt kicker hikes of the year, that challenging hike. Because it was a peak. We, you know, did a small peak.
Yeah. My favorite, do you think you know it?
Bear Lake?
Yeah.
Yeah, I knew it.
The water. The site was great. I mean, we were on grass, but there was nobody else there when we were there, so it didn't really feel like a big deal. I don't know if it was crowded, if I'd have felt the same, but I really loved the town of Gardner, Utah. It had a good grocery, it had good services, it was affordable, and it was stunning.
Yeah, I knew you were going to pick that one. That water. And we got to do so many activities. We kayaked, at least twice. We jet skied. We rode our bikes to the beach and got in.
Yeah, we were really living it up still then. In our
yeah.
In our
and we've also found like some places, and I kind of think were our favorites, like where it was just easier to be active and more trails and more accessible. And you know, there were some places where we were surprised if we weren't accessible to trails or that close to hikes. And sometimes like you travel, you know, you have a whole travel day and then you're only there a week, and to drive an hour to go do a hike sometimes just didn't appeal to us.
It didn't happen sometimes.
Yeah.
What was your... Okay, saw it, never going back.
Missouri and anything east of there. Sorry, folks.
For me, it was Pigeon Forge, Tennessee.
Yeah. Other than we had some amazing hikes in the Smokies.
That actually, you're right. You're right.
But
hold on, let me rethink my answer then.
In general of going back.
No, it'd still be Pigeon Forge, Tennessee. What? It just was not my scene. Yeah, I just wouldn't go again.
That was a scene day moment.
Yeah.
But being able to hike in the Smokies, and we were there in the epic fall colors.
What I want to make sure I say to each and every one of you before the year ends is thank you. The most sincere thank you from the bottom of my heart. I don't know why I'm getting choked up, but it's mostly because I mean it. Yeah, it's the onions.
It's the onions.
And you guys are the reason that we want to keep this thing going, right? Like my goal is to put out a new video every single week, and we achieved that goal this year, except for missing 1 week, the week that we drove 1,300 miles in 5 days to get here was the only week that we didn't put out a video. We hope to keep that going. It is a full-time job to do that, and as you know, we'll be taking on work camp this summer, so it'll depend on how, are we working 40 hours a week or 15, and but we'll see. But it is ultimately my goal, and I would love to know what you guys want to see the most. I promise you're going to see some 20 plus. My goal is we're going to hike a hike that's at least 20 miles and take you along with that, and that'll be the longest hike of our lives, and I am so excited for that.
Thank you so much for joining us this week, and we hope that you have a wonderful holiday season and Happy New Year. And as you're spending your time with your family, feel free to hit the playlist and watch us and share us with your family. We would love to see them as well.